indicates he's coming, huh?
Sir?
I mean, he indicates he's coming, isn't he?
Brandon will be here,
Brandon.
is my understanding. Phil will not.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get started.
Sure. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Today is the Board of Directors meeting at Texas City Economic Development Corporation. The time is 3:03. We're going to go ahead and begin. Mr. Brooks will be here, but we'll go ahead and begin with the posted agenda. We do have a quorum present, and agenda item number 2 is a roll call. We'll start at my far right with
Randy Deedle, board member.
Dedrick Johnson, board member.
Mark Chevalier, board member. Thank you. Agenda item number 3, which is a conflict of interest declaration. Are there any conflicts of interest that need to be declared on the record? Sensing none, we'll move to agenda item number 4, public comments. Are there any members of the public that would wish to make a comment? Sensing none, we'll move to agenda item 5, which is considered the approval of the minutes from our August 20th meeting. Those have been previously disseminated, and the chair would entertain a motion.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve agenda item 5, the minutes from the August 20th meeting. Is there further discussion on the motion? Sensing none, all in favor of the motion state so by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. And the motion passes unanimously. So there's been a request by staff to move the agenda items. The request is that we begin with agenda item 6G and then move through, and then we can go back. Is there a motion to amend the agenda accordingly?
Move for approval.
Second the motion to amend the agenda.
We have a motion and a second to amend the agenda to begin with item 6G. Is there further discussion on the motion? Sensing none, all in favor of the motion state so by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. And the motion passes unanimously. Thank you. Agenda item 6G, discussion and possible action on resolution number 2025-29, approving TCEDC fund allocation of $410,750 for engineering services related to the Central Park Boulevard project.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mayor, Mr. Chair, Mr. Deedle. Thank y'all for supporting the shift in the agenda this afternoon. We have 12 items to bring to your attention, and we wanted to get through this heavier hitter half first. So item 6G is requesting approval by the EDC board to approve the use of funds for engineering services related to the Central Park Boulevard project. So during 2021, ARC engineers designed and produced plans for the Central Park Boulevard extension project, which is to create a roadway connecting Century Boulevard to FM 2004 through TCEDC-owned property. The original concept was developed, but the other priorities ultimately superseded, so this is coming back up today. The scope of the proposed project is described in Exhibit A, which was attached to this item. It is an extension of Central Park Boulevard, again, from Century Boulevard to FM 2004. The finished product will be a 4-lane boulevard of approximately 3,500 linear feet, and this would include concrete pavement, grass medians, curbs, and underground storm sewer. In addition to the roadway, the project includes new off-site outfall ditches and storm sewer totaling 2,200 linear feet. This project does not include the extension of water or sewer mains, which would be the responsibility of future developments on the boulevard, and that's consistent with previous development standards. The construction of the project will be partially funded with $4.2 million that was approved as part of the 2025 Galveston County bond. Based on current estimates, there is a construction funding gap of $2.2 million to get the project completed. Therefore, the total funding commitment request for the EDC is $2,610,750. What we're asking for today is $410,750, and this amount would fund the engineering services for the project. The timeline for construction-related funding, i.e. when we would be thinking about allocating the $2.2 million, would be 9 to 12 months from now. So again, our request is for the board to approve the use of $410,750 to support engineering costs for this project. We do have funding available in the city's FY 25-26 budget from Fund 801.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
The amount of time for them to do the engineering is expected to be how much?
I'm going to allow Kim to answer that question.
So she can answer.
since they've actually already designed most of it, and this is a matter of updating things, it probably shouldn't take very long. I'd be surprised if it took 6 months.
Good. Thanks.
Ms. Golden, while you're here, could you, for the record, explain to the board as well as those in attendance the importance of this thoroughfare connecting Century Boulevard to 2004 and what it might do to help spawn development in the area?
Right. So right now, Central Park Boulevard from 2004 west actually goes under I-45 and connects with Lagomar Boulevard. And then from Century Boulevard east, it currently goes through Central Park subdivision, but it is intended to cross the ditch and line up with a street in the Marlow Lake Division and connect to State Highway 3. So eventually it is going to be a collector and connector from State Highway 3 all the way to and through Lagomar, the Lagomar Plains community. So it's a very important connector and part of our thoroughfare plan. That's why the city's been looking at it for a very long time. Now that we have a new fire station going on in 2004, we also have residential development along 2004 that is, and along that part of Central Park Boulevard that goes to I-45, the cobblestone. We're at the planning board, we're looking at, they're platting their last two sections right now. So the junior high is on that section of Central Park Boulevard. So this is a very important thoroughfare, and the timing is now for going ahead and making this important connector in the middle. And we do have funding through the county bond project that has to be expended. You know, it has like a time frame of 3 years to spend it.
This is a great move, I think, and this has been in the works for the city for quite a few years.
Right.
And just glad to see this happening.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's just in time. The timing's perfect.
Yeah, and there's a little over half a mile of work to be done. Yeah, it's great.
I agree, and I do appreciate the foresight
Yeah.
that leadership has shown on this, because as this area continues to have just explosive growth, you know, we've seen other communities, once you get behind on infrastructure, on drainage and traffic, it's almost impossible to catch up. So this is playing ahead of the curve. It's really great. Okay, any further questions?
Good job, Kim. Move to approve this.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve resolution number 2025-29. Is there further discussion? Sensing none, all in favor of the motion state so by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. And the motion passes unanimously. Thank you. Agenda item H, discussion and possible action on resolution number 2025-30, authorizing the sale of property located at 920 2nd Avenue South to Tinelli Incorporated in the amount of $17,187.50.
Good afternoon again. So, within the last couple of years, Tinelli Incorporated approached staff regarding the purchase of 3 properties, including 920 2nd Avenue South. The company is looking to expand its footprint and parking availability. In October of 2024, with support from the Texas City Property and Trust Committee, the City Commission approved an offer by the EDC to purchase the property that they were looking at 920 2nd for $17,187.50. At that time, the mayor executed a trustee's deed conveying title of said property to the EDC, which we would then look to sell to Tinelli for that same amount. Now, Mr. Chevalier, being the detail-oriented man that he is, remembered that we have not actually transferred the funds from the EDC to the city for that purchase. So what I would ask today is we would do a 2-part motion, that we would approve the sale of the property to Tinelli, but that it would be subject to all financial matters being cleared up, i.e. getting the correct checks cut to the correct entities and making sure that the EDC has taken full and rightful possession of the property, and then to move forward with the sale.
Thank you for that. And so, are there any questions about?
On the map that I see, it's it rectangular part there, right in the middle, all the way, top line and the bottom line.
What we're recommending
The red dot,
is 902 2nd Avenue.
920.
920, yeah,
It's the bottom half of that section? Okay, okay.
pretty much.
What kind of acreage you said, approximately?
That is,
I think it might have been on what you just, the screen you just left.
it's lots 6 and 7, second division. I'm looking for
Right
the
there.
further
Scroll
description.
down in that, the GeoID.
It just missed the,
Just missed it,
the
okay.
acreage on it.
I think that's just a screen grab.
Oh, okay.
0.19 is what John recollects, and I trust his recollection.
About 19 acres? Okay. That's a good price. And he's in agreement with that amount?
I'm sorry?
Tonelli's in agreement with that dollar amount?
Yes, yes.
Well, it's contiguous or close enough.
Did Tonelli talk about, future plans of that lot for them?
What they have explained to us in the past is that they're looking to expand their footprint both for storage and for parking. Obviously, any continued development would go through the development process.
Those are existing homes right there on the southwest corner,
Yes,
right adjacent to, that property.
yes, sir.
Okay.
Are they currently, they're not vacant, they are being lived in?
That I don't know. When I drove by, I didn't interact with anyone that day.
They're occupied, yes.
Okay.
Okay,
Move for approval. I move for approval.
Thank you.
I second that.
We have a motion and a second to approve resolution number 2025-30. Is there further discussion on the motion? Sensing none, all in favor of the motion state so by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. And the motion passes unanimously. Thank you. Agenda item I, discussion and possible action on resolution number 2025-31, authorizing allocation for the purpose of beautifying the Sixth Street Community Plaza in preparation for mural placement.
So the Sixth Street Community Plaza has turned out beautifully. We had the successful grand opening event on September 20th and another very well-attended concert event this past weekend. We're getting nothing but positive feedback from the public, with the exception of one area that we may need to fence off for safety. Everyone is loving the facility. We see regular attendance there most weekdays. So as part of the continuing effort to beautify 6th Street, but especially the area around the community plaza, we have started looking at the piece of property located immediately to the right if you're facing the park, which is a Gold Star Finance building. And we are considering the possibility of improving the wall that faces the community plaza, which would include removal of the grass and moss growing out of the wall, slight brick repair, and covering, which would prepare that wall for the installation of a full-sized mural. The artist put together a general concept that you see before you. This is not necessarily the final design. We are very much open to suggestions and changes should they be needed. But the ultimate goal is to create that full wall mural to just add to the beauty that already exists with that plaza and to really make it another tourist attraction for the region. We already have 2 other very beautiful murals on 6th Street, so this would add to that effort to beautify the entire 6th Street Revitalization District. The estimate from Generosity Services to get that wall primed and ready for mural installation is just shy of $23,000. And we do have funds available in the EDC's Budget Fund 801.
That is a piece of property, grassed area that we just recently purchased,
Yes,
right?
sir. That's the property that we purchased from Mr. Lurson, and we're in the process of finalizing that agreement now.
Okay.
Do you have a brief synopsis or summary as to what type of work needs to be done to remediate that wall?
Yes, sir, I do. So if you look at the scope of work in the attachment, they would be pressure washing the left elevation to prep for a skim coat in approximately 100 by 16 feet in size, installing that new mortar skim coat, but also doing, as I had mentioned, slight brick repair and removing all of the greenery that's growing out of the wall. And likely applying a pesticide to keep it from growing further.
Is the material they're putting on that, it's a brick surface?
Yes, it is a brick surface. The skim coat, I don't know that that's a brick surface. I think
No,
that's
no,
just
no,
coating.
that's I just don't remember if that's got structural value to it, sort of like Sure Wall and some of the others, because I'm concerned about that wall and condition it's in.
I would say that I had communicated with the owner of the building and talked with her about, installation and it being long-term, and she did not express any concerns along those lines. I'm more than happy to get back with her to provide additional detail if needed.
I presume there's some mortar work between some of those bricks that they'll do first and then put the skim wall on it.
Yes,
Yeah.
there's definitely brick repair that's going to be required.
Well,
Is that-
go ahead.
No, I'm just-
Here.
Does that dimension cover the entire wall, 100 feet by 16 feet high?
I believe so, yes, sir.
Well, it'll definitely be an attractive entrance because most of the people coming from the north side will see that with that vacancy in front of it. So it'll be very visible. That's for sure. You'll get your full value.
Yes. And just a little note about the design itself. When we initially started our mural program, we received a design that was similar to that, but just smaller in size. The mural artist is really coming down on his pricing from what he had initially priced us for a smaller mural in size. He is passionate about the project and in ensuring that it relays Texas City's personality and charm and history. So he's, for lack of a better way to say, really cutting us a deal on his pricing.
To be sure I understand that, this 22.9 something does or does not include the actual painting of the mural.
It does not. The mural itself would be just under 50,000, which compared to what he was going to install it for, about 35 for something about a third of the size. He agreed to cover that entire wall for less than a 50% increase.
And what is the price of that?
50,000?
Okay,
Yes.
please.
Yeah, that's a separate item. We do have a mural program integrated into our budget, but we will bring that back regardless.
Well, I presume if there are probably other mural designer makers that we might also seek out just in case. Okay.
Okay. Chair would entertain a motion if there's no further questions.
So I just want us to be clear that we are entertaining this motion to fix this wall for the purpose of a future mural.
Yeah.
Or it's for the sake of cleaning up the wall for aesthetics. I mean, I don't,
Yeah.
I just want that to be clear that the goal is to put a mural on it, whether we choose this artist or this mural is to be determined. But in the absence of a mural, I'm not sure we'd spend this type of money just to fix somebody else's wall.
May we deter on this till we have a fixed price and agreed price on the mural?
We do, as far as I've communicated with the artist, his name is Justin Ross. He has agreed to 50,000 for the purpose of installing this mural.
And in your research of murals for a wall that size, is that standard, or give us a reference as to what we may have paid for the mural on the side of like 409 area, not 409, the
411, 413.
413. Yeah.
I'm not going to lie to you. I don't remember that figure, and I don't want to tell you something false. But what I will say is when we did an RFP for muralists originally, we dealt with a lot of pricing that was from low and not the best quality to very high. And at that time, this gentleman's pricing fell right in the midstream. But again, for a mural of this size and the fact that he's willing to do such a much larger space area for only $12,000 additional dollars from his original design, like I said, it's my feeling that he's definitely cutting us a deal and charging a lot less than similar artists would have. When we priced the murals that we wanted in that RFP, we did look at small, medium, and large surface areas.
Okay.
What say you?
So are we asking the property owner to, I guess, skin in the game and contribute something towards the remediation of this wall? If nothing else, like I said, the aesthetics of their own building, or is this all an EDC project?
We've not made that request. The way it's presented right now is just for it to be an EDC project. Quite frankly, in my opinion, what I would really love to see would be her to dedicate some funds to the other side of that building. It's an empty space, and the building itself could use some exterior improvements. I would say communicating that to her might be fair.
Okay.
We're not pressed to make this decision right now. I guess I'd like to see some discovery on that also. And then also maybe try to be sure that the artwork would be, that you're satisfied with that and there are no other artists that,
I'm more than happy to go back and get pricing from other muralists. I'm basing what I'm saying about the pricing on what we received in an RFP that we did early 2024, so just last year.
The discussions that you had thus far, they're with the building owner, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
I wonder if it would be prudent for us to maybe have Mr. Dixon try to draft something that would memorialize an agreement. There's as it stands right now, if we do this work and the mural is done and she sells the building or she decides, there's nothing that says that she can't just whitewash that.
So to ensure the mural's longevity.
Some sort of memorialization that she would agree, and effectively a covenant that would run with the land, that she nor the future owners could just go out there and just paint it because they, on a whim.
I mean,
That's a good suggestion.
That's a $73,000 expenditure, so I think that's a good point, Mark.
Yeah. I'm sure Kyle will oblige.
So I'm sensing a motion to defer this item to a later
I
date.
second it, yeah.
Okay. Is there a motion to that effect?
Yeah, I second Mr. Dietl's motion.
We have a motion and a second to defer agenda item I and defer that to a later date. Is there further discussion on the motion? Sensing none, all in favor of the motion to defer state so by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. And the motion is granted, and we defer that item to a later date. Thank you.
May I ask a question about that? Is that okay with protocol? I just wanted to make sure my understanding is correct. Would you like me to bring it back as one item with both the wall repair and the mural with the mural cost estimates and all of that? You just want me to bring it back as one thing?
I think Mr. Dietl, I don't want to speak for him, but I think Mr. Dietl wanted to see if there was some other muralists that could offer some other prices. Is that what you're looking at?
Yeah, I don't know that you need to separate them because you have the price for the guy unless you feel like you can have a better price to do the wall prep. But I think it's really just about like Mark said.
Okay. I'll bring it all back on one item. Generosity Services is a choice partner program, so we know that they've already gone through a statewide bidding process.
Although the thought process is for us, it's one item, one price, right? We want to clean the wall and to paint the wall and all that. But I do think we should keep them separate because one is an agreement with the muralist and the other is an agreement with Generosity or some other contractor to remediate the wall.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if we keep them separate, then we can kind of do separate things. But I think for information gathering purposes, we want to look at the holistic picture to see, what this entire investment will cost us. I do have an additional question. I'd like to know, does the city have any murals currently today on buildings that we do not own or that EDC does not own? And if we do, what type of contractual agreements do we have that already exist, if any?
None that I'm aware of.
Okay.
The agreement we don't have.
So we do have murals on non-city / EDC owned walls or buildings. And depending upon what the mural is, whether it's advertising or it's city marketing or, do they pay us or do we pay them, or is it just a gentleman's agreement handshake and,
We can dig into that and bring you what we get back, but regardless, I like Mark's suggestion about creating it for this one.
Got it.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Agenda item J, discussion of possible action on resolution number 2025-32, authorizing an update to Phoenix Business Accelerator eligibility requirements to allow memberships to businesses beyond 3 years in age.
So, we all know and love the Phoenix. The Phoenix Business Accelerator officially opened to the public earlier this year. In that time, we have welcomed 3 clients, one enterprise office, which is home to an AI marketing designer, and 2 Cubby clients, one of which is a public-private partnership firm, and another is I believe, a counseling. We're very happy to have our clients. However, what we have found is that when we welcome people for tours or discuss the Phoenix with individuals that call and inquire, what we're finding is that only about 15% meet the requirements outlined in our application, the primary reason being that their business or LLC had been created longer than 3 years ago, but perhaps they had an inactive period and they would be starting with more than 3 years technically under their belt, but not really in practice. So what we would like to ask is that the EDC board consider relaxing the requirement on that time limit. Obviously, we could still give preference to those new businesses that matched up with our original idea and Pathways to Prosperity. But with that leeway, we have 5 potential clients that are waiting in the wings that might have that or a slight other item to look at, but really it's the time. It's the 1 to 3 years that's really catching a lot of our prospective clients. So I did include the application in your packet just to look at, but I don't know that we need to reword anything on it because where it addresses the amount of time that an individual business has been in operation, it's the back page with the qualifications, and it says, I have not operated my business for more than 3 years. If so, how long? So that already creates a mechanism for us to find out, okay, if you're older than 3 years, how long have you been around? Have you been around for 5, 7, 20? Obviously, we wouldn't carry it out for somebody that's a well-established business that doesn't arguably need those services.
So that could be they've been dormant for a while.
Yes, sir. That's the bulk of what we're seeing is that someone might have started an LLC during COVID and they weren't able to do anything with it, but now with things settled down and the supply chain issues being somewhat solved, they're ready to get back up.
So I'm okay with this. I believe our goal, obviously, is to help small businesses,
Yes.
with a preference or priority on new businesses. But in the case where our, I believe, 14 enterprises or whatnot of various sizes.
We have 5 enterprise offices and 10 Cubby seats. So we have room for as many as 20 to 25 people in the facility.
Right. And so I believe our goal is to fill these slots.
Yes.
Right? And if
Yep.
we're not filling them with new businesses, then it's to our advantage to expand those offerings to businesses that have probably been in existence longer than the 3 years.
Yeah.
Again, like you said, still giving priority and preference to new businesses.
And one more quick note, I did have a conversation with a gentleman in Lamarck where they had also started a similar facility. They were never able to secure a single client. So it's not the easiest thing in the world to find someone that meets the qualifications, but easing them a bit will certainly help.
Yeah, I agree. Your form it doesn't have to be changed. So, and I agree with the mayor. We want to. I didn't realize we had that much room in there to that many different ways. So
We do.
great. Yeah.
And this is unsurprising. We knew when we embarked on this journey that we would be evolving with the
Yes.
need. So it's perfectly congruent with that.
And to that point, we gave this time to succeed. We've done advertising, we've done videos, we've done quite a bit to communicate this out. Now that we've given it time and we know that this might be the key to getting us more business, that's why we bring it forward at this point.
Concur?
I also think one of the best ambassadors for this program is the clients who've gone through the program themselves. So
Yes.
if we can go from 3 to 6 and then, eventually have 6 small businesses in the area who say, we went through the Phoenix Business Accelerator.
Yeah.
In Texas City.
On 6th Street. Yep.
Absolutely. So I move to approve this change.
Second.
We have motion and second to approve Resolution 2025-32. Is there further discussion? Sensing none, all in favor of the motion say so by saying aye.
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 Opposed, nay. And the motion passes unanimously. Thank you. Agenda item K, discussion of possible action on resolution number 2025-33, authorizing an easement of TCEDC-owned property for construction of a sanitary sewer force main.
Disclaimer, this may be another item that I need Kim Golden's insight on. So the City Commission approved a master plan for the development of Lagomar East on June 18th, 2025. The master plan community is to be located on 1,167 acres east of I-45, north of the extension of Holland Road, and will develop 1,973 single-family homes and 62.9 acres of commercial property. Yay! Sales tax. Providing the approved development with sanitary sewer service requires an extension of a 16-inch force main from the site to existing facilities at 25th Avenue North. A copy of the staff report that goes into full detail of that is included in your packet. An easement is required from the EDC along FM 2004 for construction of the 16-inch force main per the attached route map. The EDC previously approved the donation of an easement for another section of 16-inch force main, which is co-located in a joint trench with the 24-inch force main project constructed for development on the west side of Lagomar planned unit development. Construction of the 16-inch force main is being funded by the developer of Lagomar East through MUD District 58. Upon completion of construction and after inspection and testing, the developer or municipal utility district will donate the force main to the city for acceptance, operation, and maintenance as part of its overall municipal sewer system. So staff is recommending approval of the easement as detailed in the attachments.
I don't have any problem with it. A lot of new homes.
No issues here either.
Okay.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have motion and second to approve resolution number 2025-33. Is there further discussion on the motion? Sensing none, all in favor of the motion say so by saying aye.
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 Opposed, nay. And the motion passes unanimously. Thank you. Agenda item K, agenda item L, discussion of possible action on resolution number 2025-34, authorizing the sale of approximately plus or minus 48 acres out of a 245 acre parcel TCEDC owned to Cobb Properties 1 LLC for the purposes of residential development.
So, thinking of the property that the EDC and the city owns above the mainland city center, there is a piece of property located immediately above the mall and immediately below the previous Meritage development. That is the property that is indicated with the big number 1 on the graphic that you see in front of you. Of that piece of a larger parcel, so it is one GCAD code for the parcel that goes all the way up to that solid line above the number 2 on your graphic. Cobb Properties, also known as Tapestry Land, have submitted a potential contract to purchase plus or minus 48 acres of developable land near the number 1 on your graphic, so in that portion of the property. Just for context, they have expressed interest in purchasing property in the number 2 area. However, due to the Central Park Boulevard project, Kim and John and myself, and we've discussed it with the mayor, are thinking we hold on that until we know the ramifications of that project, the area affected, etc., so we can leave that for discussion at a more opportune time. But this purchase below the Meritage development does not overlap with anything that would be considered as part of the Central Park Boulevard project. Therefore, we are looking for your approval to move forward with this purchase agreement. The purchase price for the plus or minus 48 buildable acres would be $1.92 million. It is already zoned single-family residential. Now, a little bit of bigger picture to kind of create some context around this. We mentioned in a previous item that we, the EDC, are going to be asked for approximately $2.6 million to support the Central Park Boulevard extension project. This sale for 1.92 million will offset that amount that we're looking to contribute by nearly 75%. For further context, again, as mentioned, Tapestry had expressed interest in purchasing land in the space of that number 2, as well as additional property in and around the number 1 area. So there is, suffice it to say, additional residential area that could be developed that they are interested in developing that we may bring back to you at another time. But suffice it to say, the 1.92 million is the start of what could be a continued relationship.
Question for you on the map.
Yes, sir.
The circle 1,
Yep.
and then there's a shaded area to the left of it that's a different color green.
Yes, sir.
Which area are you talking about, 1 or the shaded area?
1. The
Okay.
contract is very clear that they would be purchasing buildable acreage.
And the shaded area that's to the left of it is,
That's owned by a separate entity.
okay, that's already owned somebody else.
Pinnacle owns it.
Pinnacle, okay.
So this is roughly,
48 acres.
about 40, it's about $40,000 an acre.
It is, it is 40.
Okay.
For that parcel. You may recall that a few years ago,
Yeah.
we sold that, right above the number 1 there, we sold that property right there, right at $33,000 an acre. So, and they had a contract on this parcel of property for $32,000 an acre. What we're proposing is the sale to this corporation for $40,000 per acre for the same parcel we had under contract for a lesser amount. And it would be, as Kristen said, for single-family development. What's important to know, also note, is you may recall, I just want to throw this out there for discussion, or just for information. We had talked about a community park somewhere in this area. That area up above, right to the middle of that is where the Centennial Park Boulevard is scheduled to go through. Up above that, the city and the EDC combined own another approximately 300 acres. So theoretically, you could do this, you could do development in that too, and you could do your community park in the 300 acres up above there. So there's a lot of land that's open space in that area. Another key component to this property that's number 2 and above is there are some drainage issues with it. And the community park would be ideal to address some of the drainage issues as well. That's just information for future discussions.
Yeah, thank you, John. The $5,000 earnest money is all we're asking for. And the time period of 180 days to review that they have, if they fall out of it, they get the $5,000 back. Does this take it off the market?
It would, yes, sir. If you have a recommendation and you think we should change, we're open to that. If that's they want to execute it, I have no doubt they're going to execute it. So if we wanted to make it a non-refundable as part of your motion, I think that would be.
Not much money on it.
I don't think so either. We could also give them a set amount of time to make a decision, but I agree completely with John. They're very eager. They actually said to me that they would purchase the whole of the 245 acres we have available for a proportionate price.
Well, I'd definitely just stay with the 48 acres right now.
Yeah.
And then that sort of gets them even more excited about purchasing later.
Yep.
I just thought 5,000 on that type of dollar amount and that length of time is somewhere it didn't in my mind match up. Mark?
So do we have a motion, or did I understand, if I may perhaps summarize where we are? Is there a motion to accept the offer as posited under resolution number 2025-34, subject to a change to make the earnest money contract non-refundable if the closing does not occur within a specific time frame as the parties mutually agree.
I would make that motion as stated by you, Mark.
Second that motion.
Is there further discussion on that motion?
Is that amount of time 1 month?
I don't know what the time should be, as long as there's some type of finite time that's reasonable,
Yeah.
I would say. And, I would even, I mean, I don't want to change the motion, but I
No.
would just, I'm okay with just a time frame.
Okay.
Yeah, the 180 days is what you gave him.
Okay.
So the matter before the board is to make the earnest money contract, or the earnest money offered, non-refundable if the closing does not occur on or before the 180th day after the contract is executed.
Sounds good.
Did our
That's the second.
That our recorder of, that was a lot to throw at you, I'm sorry about that, but we're on the record, correct? So.
Yes, sir, we are.
Okay, perfect. Is there further discussion on the motion and second? Sensing none, all in favor of the motion say so by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. And the motion passes unanimously. I'm going to go ahead and execute the resolution, knowing that the agreement is probably going to need to be amended, so I think the mayor is a signatory on the agreement. So we'll wait for a reformed agreement to reflect this motion and this
Yes.
resolution.
We
Thank
will
you.
get on that this week, next week.
Perfect. We will now move back up the agenda in accordance with the previous motion to agenda item 6A. Resolution number 2025-23, discussion of possible action awarding a Texas Lamar Chamber membership grant in an amount not to exceed $500 to Texas State Optical.
So in August of '23, the CDC board established a chamber membership grant to assist local businesses with the cost of joining the Texas City Lamar Chamber for 1 year only. Applicants must represent either a new for-profit business or an existing for-profit business that has not previously joined the chamber. We have received a completed application from Texas State Optical, or TSO, here in Texas City. It is located on 2702 Palmer Highway. I did tour the facility. It is beautiful, and I think, they've got an excellent staff. Just had a very good experience visiting that business, and I think they would take full advantage of the chamber's, the different services that they offer to their members. And funds are available in our budget, Fund 801.
I'd move for approval.
Second?
We have a motion and a second to approve resolution number 2025-23. Is there further discussion?
And this meets, I just want to be sure, this meets all of the criteria. They've never been a member of the chamber.
No, sir.
I think Noah Zavala is the new owner. that he bought
Yes,
from
that's correct.
The other partner.
Yes.
But they're going to have a ribbon cutting, I understand, next week.
I believe that's correct. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, all in favor of the motion state so by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. And the motion passes unanimously. Thank you. Agenda item 6B, discussion and possible action on resolution number 2025-24, authorizing a business improvement grant for Sakura Events LLC for an amount not to exceed $15,000.
So in October of '23, the CDC board established the Business Improvement Grant Program to assist local businesses with a range of exterior improvements. We have made that clear on the application. Staff has received a completed application from Anna Stein for her leased property located at 221 6th Street North. She is leasing that property from Scott Arnold. The applicant is requesting assistance for exterior improvements, including wall repair and paint, landscaping in the piece of the property that you can see to the south of the building itself, debris removal, and sprinklers for landscaping. Per the attached estimates, the total cost of these exterior repairs is estimated to be $30,750. As the amount exceeds $30,000, Ms. Anestein would request the full $15,000 match per our program guidelines. I would offer that this building is located in the 6th Street Revitalization District and would represent our continued effort to beautify and improve our downtown area and to increase visitation. Also, the nature of her business as an event center would bring regular groups of upwards to 30, 40, 100 people to 6th Street on a regular time frame.
So she's planning on utilizing the outside.
Yes, sir, she is. She wants to do outdoor
Been-
weddings.
Hadn't been utilized before that I know of.
No, sir, it hasn't.
Well, I wish anybody luck. This is the third attempt on this building, I think.
I have a question.
Yes.
As it relates to us applying the big grants to these entities, to leasees. Right? We've talked about this before. They don't own the building, they're leasing it. Do we have something in place that, let's say we approve the big grant for them today, a year down the road, hopefully not, but they're out of business, then we get another entity in this same facility who wants to do something else and make some repairs or transitions to the building. They apply for a big grant. We're giving big grants to leasees and not the structure, not the building. So at what point, or do we have any type of finite limitations as to how many big grants or how much money we can pour into a particular site?
Understood. So I know we've discussed previously in meetings that regardless of what application we get for what location from whom, it is this board's discretion whether or not we fund those projects. So I would say if we got another lessee in that same space, that we would bring that matter to your attention that we had just issued a big grant for the previous lessee, and that would be factored into the decision.
Has this site been awarded any EDC grant improvement money in the past?
Not that I know of. There was a bar that was looking to develop there, but they did not get to the point that they were looking at exterior improvements. And quite frankly, I'm not even sure that we had the big grant in full practice at the time that they were building out.
We did not, but that's why I said any type of grant funds, whether it be revitalization grants, EDC funds of any sort. One of the things you just said was that moving forward, even though it's at the board's discretion, if a site has received funds, that you would bring that to us in awareness. So we're keeping track,
Yes, sir.
site specific of.
Yep.
Okay.
And presumably the building owner, there's indicia of his approval?
There's a letter in your packet expressing his approval. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Okay, is there further questions?
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve resolution number 2025-24. Is there further discussion? Sensing none, all in favor of the motion state so by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. And the motion passes unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you.
Agenda item C, discussion of possible action on resolution number 2025-25 authorizing a business improvement grant for BAMCO surplus process equipment in an amount not to exceed $15,000.
So this is another big grant. Staff has received a completed application from BAMCO Surplus Process Equipment for property located at 1812 Texas Avenue, which is in the Gateway Overlay District. The applicant is requesting financial assistance for the installation of a wrought iron fence and landscaping. Now, I do want to be completely transparent. We received this application in August, right around when our August meeting was. They have since completed the repairs. And I've put those images in the packet so that you can see the work that they've done. So that wrought iron fence, there is now no more debris or storage on any other part of the property that is not inside that fence. In addition, they have added landscaping to the front of the property, which is an explicit requirement in the Gateway Overlay District per our ordinances. The total amount of work, fencing, shrubbery, labor, was $12,000 for both of those, both the fencing and the landscaping. So a 50% match of this amount would be $6,000.
I guess they felt like they just couldn't wait and they wanted to move forward.
They wanted to get it done. It was, as stated, the landscaping, the masonry construction, all of that, those are requirements in the ordinance. So I think they just wanted to comply with that and get it done. And it does look nice. I did drive by and take those pictures.
What's the nature of this business?
It is a surplus process equipment, so P-TEC equipment.
You said P-TEC?
That's my understanding, yes, sir.
I think you use petrochemical valves,
Yes, sir.
such as that, yeah.
Yep.
Valves.
And for those of you who are interested in trivia, former site of the Dairy Queen and the film location of the movie Silkwood
Nice.
that scene was filmed there. So
Nice.
you got that going for you.
Have they provided you with invoices or receipts from the work that they've done?
They provided me with the estimates. We would typically not process a bid grant until we have the invoices in hand, so it would be the exact same situation here.
So under that scenario, you would require that before if we approve this?
No, sir. Typically, what we require of the bid grants is to have the estimates of the work so we know generally what the cost is going to be. We would not move forward with processing that grant distribution until we had that invoices documentation.
I might have stated that incorrectly or misunderstood, but you would require those paid invoices.
Yes, before
Okay.
we would process any
All right.
funds.
Being that most people can't do the work they need until they get the grant funds. These people have already moved forward.
Yes, sir.
So am I hearing you say they still don't have the invoices or the receipts for this?
The application material that I have in front of you is what they submitted back in August. It's possible that they haven't received their invoices yet.
Yeah, I don't think that's an issue, Mayor. And the motion is to not to exceed 6,000. So they would have to, during the normal process, provide those receipts to even be eligible.
Right.
So
Got it.
really the question is, are you okay with moving forward with this big grant in that amount?
I appreciate the fact that they went ahead and got it done. But most applicants who request a grant, they request for assistance because they don't have the capital to do something. And so now it's like, they went ahead and got it done and we're giving them a grant to pay them back for investing in their own business. I don't know. I can go either way on this. I'm just thinking out loud, right?
Let
Understood.
me offer one other thing.
Talk to me, please.
So, as Kristen said, these are requirements to get their permits. And the longer they have to wait in order to get their permit, they're losing money.
You're out of business, yeah.
So, the sooner they can get this done, the better, get their CO, move in and start their business. So, I think since they brought this to us and they went ahead and moved forward with the work, this is just another way that we can help businesses in Texas City.
That's a good point, John. I think security issue and to move forward and being a business, I'm glad they had the money or borrowed the money on an extended loan system they have. I don't know, but I would approve this.
That's valid, Mr. Branson, and I'm going to favor it as well, Mr. Dietel. But I would say moving forward, we still regulate it with some type of time period, so that the next business who says, "Oh, okay, they did this. We made some repairs to our business back in 2019. I want to see if I can get a grant for that."
Yeah.
6 years ago, right? We can't. In our retroactiveness,
It can be a slippery slope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I know that was extreme, but if it can happen, it will.
Well, and like you
That
said,
we-
Mayor, maybe we ought to have some type of timeline, and whether it's 3 months.
We may want to, at some point, formalize some sort of policy.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
way
Then
we're-
I'd be here now, just thinking out
That's a
loud
good
as far
point.
as if we're going to allow somebody to go ahead because of those are requirements for permitting. Someone says, "Well, I had to get my permit, like I said, in 2020, and I'd like to be reimbursed for that."
I literally wrote down improvements made within 2 to 3 months. So,
I mean, hey,
Good.
sounds good. Move for approval?
Yeah. Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve resolution number 2020-25. Is there further discussion? Sensing none, all in favor of the motion state so by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. And the motion passes unanimously. Thank you. Agenda item D, discussion of possible action on resolution number 2025-26, authorizing a business improvement grant for Main Street commercial properties for an amount not to exceed $15,000.
So this is a big grant for the future location of the Dunkin' Donuts located off of Palmer. They absorbed a credit union building and they've purchased that to use not only for a Dunkin' Donuts, but there will also be a second retail space in there. So that building will house 2 businesses when all is said and done. In the attached information that outlines all of their improvements, They did share with us one document that illustrated all of the improvements they had to make, including everything they had to do on the interior as well. I went through and outlined the things that were explicitly exterior. It would be safe to assume that some of the other lines in there did include some exterior, some interior. So for example, exterior walls, clear example of exterior, $13,850. Additional door and glazing for the front of the building was $56,000. Ramps and railings, $52,000. And this, in addition, as I said, there was additional landscaping, additional concrete work, etc. So with all of that amount together, not including what may have been worked in with some of the interior estimates on the rest of that attachment, that total was already $122,195. So suffice it to say, with the end of this document, Renee, if you don't mind scrolling down just a skosh, all the way down to the last division, $549,519 they're pouring into this building.
But 120 for sure, that's not interior or other things.
Unquestionably
landscaping.
exterior, but I do suspect that within the other scopes of work, there's additional exterior that they're doing.
I don't think we have any thing in place just because Dunkin' Donuts big and somebody else is small. That we have any guidelines that we've put into place, have we?
And for what it's worth, given the size of the additional retail space, I'm pretty confident that that's going to be a smaller operation.
Well, they've taken a building that's been sort of just, I guess it's been vacant for a while.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Several years.
So it's an improvement to Palmer.
Mm-hmm. Gateway Overlay District.
Yeah, yeah, on the gateway.
Have we a motion on that?
I move to approve this item.
And I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second to approve 2025-26. Is there further discussion on the motion?
So it will be for the full 15, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Sensing no further discussion, is all in favor of the motion state so by saying aye.
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 Opposed, nay. And the motion passes unanimously. Thank you. Agenda item E, discussion and possible action on resolution number 2025-27, authorizing a business improvement grant for the Independent Village for an amount not to exceed $15,000.
So the Independence Village is requesting assistance for a new, larger, much more stable street sign that would be visible from Highway 3. In talking with Janice, their new president, she indicated that not only is this to assist families in finding the facility that might be new or potential clients, but also for first responders. The sign they have now, that's the one that's right in front of the building. If you look at the other photo, I believe their street level sign is in the picture. Suffice it to say, it's falling apart and it's on two pieces of wood. That's their current sign. So for those reasons, not only to attract new customers, assist current structures with wayfinding, and to make it more clear for first responders, the Independence Village is looking to us to assist with that sign. The total cost of the proposed sign is $12,753.33. So 50% of that would be $6,376.67.
Do you know who owns that property?
My understanding is that it is owned by the corporation, the board, and that they were that came from Janice, and that they would be able to speak to.
I don't think they own that property, because I served on the advisory board for several years, and that was always a contention.
Okay.
They may have gotten permission, but I don't know.
I only know what Janice told me.
I mean, I'm in favor of the signage. I just want to be sure that they don't jerk it up. This sign's been there for a little while.
Yes, sir. It's aged.
I still have questions about the use and the purpose of the business improvement grant.
I
I'm not sure that the original intent on the onset, to me, it was for building improvements, renovations, something that would help the business get started. And now we've graduated into wayfinding signs. I certainly believe that signage is important, but this is not the sign on the building or at the location. It's to help people get to the location. I don't know how this helps business operations. Could potentially, like you said, help recruit others. Again, I'm thinking out loud. Somebody just needs to convince me that to improve my business, that do we have a general scope outlined in our BIG? I think we did when we first established the big grant a couple of years ago. Did we have a scope that includes wayfinding signage? If so, then I'll shut up, you know. But I thought it was for building improvements, and I'm just trying to see, does this fall underneath?
I don't know that it says wayfinding, but I'm pretty confident that it does say signs, and I've got the application.
And I thought when it said signs, it was implying the signs on the building. If you look up and down 6th Street, we did awnings and we did signage, you know, that would help people identify what is at this location.
Right.
The other aspect that comes to mind, not at all questioning the validity of the mission of Independence Village,
Absolutely.
but it gets a little outside the scope of commerce. We are in the Economic Development Corporation world seeking to develop business, commerce, jobs, all of those sort of things. And again, this is an immensely worthy enterprise that fills a huge social need.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure we're kind of getting into mission creep a little bit. At what point what if Texas City Independent School District comes to us and asks for signs?
Right.
Again, a worthy mission. You see where I'm going with that?
I do. The only argument that I would make is that the clients that are living there are paying to be there, so they are generating revenue. And I believe, as you stated, this is one of the only businesses of this kind in Texas City. So if a potential employee or employer were to move to the city and have that need, this would be pretty much their only option. There's an adult daycare, but it's not quite the same thing.
Yeah, to be candid, I'm really kind of struggling with this. I mean, what if Our Lady of Fatima came to us and said we need new signage? Again, does that make sense, what I'm saying? I don't know if I'm articulating that in a way.
I'm with you on that.
Valid point, yeah.
When you highlight commerce, and I do know there are residents there who pay, but like you said, there's students who pay for private school as well, and it's not commerce in the sense that it's applicable to the general public. It's those who, and you know, I'm hesitant to touch it because of the noble cause of what it caters to in our community, but our job here as board members, you know, to be fiscally responsible of the economic development funds we receive. And while we have been generous, where does it end? Where does it stop? What are the guidelines relative to on-site signage versus off-site signage? Building improvements versus, you know, wayfinding, highway, and things like that.
Again, we knew we would get to this point, and here we are. Mm-hmm. At what point do we draw the line?
Right.
Well, and if we need to turn this item down and amend the big grant to say not for nonprofits, we can do that.
No, I wouldn't. I don't think it has anything to do with for-profit or nonprofit. I mean, that's the overall mission of EDC, is to generate commerce in the city, right? And I just don't connect this sign to generating commerce per se.
I agree. I mean, we all have a heartfelt thing for this organization, but I think in this point, it just didn't quite fit. They may have some other needs they could come back and ask for, but
That's true.
the other thing bothers me is they don't own this property.
And again, I only stated that because that was what Janice told me.
Yeah, I think she's misled, unless they bought it in the last 6 months or so that I don't know about. Anyway, I would not be in favor because I think we were stepping outside of our bounds just a little bit. And maybe, and we're not on the building, but maybe they have some other, you can convey that to them.
Can we, at the very least, discover who owns the building and their current status?
No, they own the building, they don't own this property where this sign
Oh,
is.
okay, I'm sorry.
See
I
this
see
property
what
right here?
I see what you're
They
saying.
don't own that.
I see what you're saying. Well, it would have to adhere to our sign ordinance anyway. Engineering and planning we have a sign ordinance in the city that, as far as easement placement, types of signs, and all of that, light or not light, it would have to adhere to all of that. I'm not even sure if this one does, to be honest, but Kim is not here. She could speak on that more. But there's multiple things that are at question here. One, whether or not the property is owned by them. Two, whether or not a grant for a sign falls under what we, as the board, believe to be something that improves the business.
Have we, am I sensing a motion to defer?
Or deny.
No motion is needed to deny. If we don't have a motion, we just doesn't pass for lack of motion, to my knowledge.
Mr. Chair, my preference, if you would just put it on the table, vote for it, and if your pleasure, turn it down, and we can inform the customer. That's my preference.
Okay,
Well, John, normally I would go with that, but because we have such a small quorum, somebody would have to put it on the table and then vote against it, which is,
I'm okay with it.
It does kind of help me to be able to go back to them with a straight answer.
okay. I make a motion that we put this on the table for consideration to approve this big grant.
is there a second? Sensing none, the motion fails for a second, and therefore the resolution is denied. Thank you.
Okay, last one. We're getting close, y'all. Okay, this last one is a big grant for the Strand Hair and Beauty Bar located at 3521 Palmer Highway. So again, Gateway Overlay District. If you look at the photo in the packet, you can see what their proposed signage is to look like. But I think what Renee is opening right now, which is still very good to open, is you can see here that they're the only business in that strip center. This is the Brixmore Shopping Center that does not have a name above their business. Meaning if you're looking at it from the street, there's no way you could know that there was an operational business there or what it was. There's another attachment somewhere in there, Renee. I don't remember which. I believe it's the letter of support from the owner. It could be the sign estimate, but I think it's that letter of support. And if you scroll down, there we go. That's what they're proposing, is literally hair, which is consistent with the other lettering, size, placement of the other names of the businesses along that row.
It's literally what it will say. Hair.
Yes, sir.
And what's the name of the business again?
The Strand Beauty and the Strand Hair and Beauty Bar.
Okay.
I mean, it's a little on the nose, but it is a sign.
And will this be LED type or just flat letters or?
I would like to look at the sign description before giving you a definitive answer on that.
There's an acrylic face and the, yeah, it is.
So it
It
is-
is LED illumination. I'm sorry, I didn't have my glasses on when I asked that.
Yep.
Yes.
LED channel letter front, if I would just read in front of me.
I see it in the diagram here.
For someone that likes reading this much, I'm not good at reading what's right in front of me. The total cost of the sign would be $5,129.50. So what they're asking for is the 50% match of $2,564.75.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve resolution number 2025-28. Is there further discussion? Since seeing none, all in favor of the motion say so by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The motion passes unanimously. Thank you. So we now have reports. Do we have any reports? Amy's here today from the Small Business Development Center. Any reports? I know staff usually has some updates. Please.
I'd let Amy go first.
Thank y'all for having me today. So I talked to Kristen and we did a recap of all of our small business success series that we've been partnering with you all, the EDC, the city, us, the Texas City Lamarck Chamber of Commerce, and the library. And we just wanted to tell y'all some of the numbers that we had over this past year. So we had 12 classes and we serviced 261 small business owners or those who wanted to start a small business. Of those, 174 were females. Of those also, 162 were minorities. And then we also had 13 veterans. So what we found is our most popular classes were Canva, which is a technology for marketing your business. We had 41 at one of those classes. We had 32 in another. And then we're trying to listen to them to find out what our small business community wants. But our numbers have grown over 2 years from 4 people to possibly 40 people in the classes. So we just wanted to share this good news. Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for that, and thank you for being here, Amy.
Staff updates. On Tuesday, October 21st from 1 to 3 p.m., we will be having the Pipelines Workshop that I believe I mentioned last time. The Pipelines Initiative is a partnership between the EDC, Texas City ISD, Dickinson ISD, the Chamber, COM, Communities and Schools, Higher Up Texas, and Workforce Solutions to, number one, create pipelines between high school to college courses that area kids can take free of charge. And then that would direct them into entry-level work. In working with COM, we're also looking to map out the classes that a child would need to, or student rather, would need to take in order to advance to higher paying jobs, again, through COM. In addition, and with the involvement of the Chamber, Tim has been really great in terms of being willing to apply that formula and connect it with getting business leaders that represent the different areas of CTE training that we have in the 2 districts, connected with those teachers to inform their curriculums so the kids are getting the correct certifications, the correct soft skill training, the basic curriculum that they need to be able to essentially walk into those new jobs. In addition to that, we're working with Communities and Schools in Higher Up Texas to also instill those soft skills starting at the high school level. Higher Up Texas already has a really strong formula for that. I've been a panel speaker for more than once. So this Pipelines Workshop on Tuesday, I would love to see all 3 of you there if you have availability. This is, as I said, the EDC has been a partner from the beginning. This would give you a chance to weigh in on how you think a process like that should work and any thoughts you have about important points and things we should be focusing on. If you cannot make it, I understand, but if you have any thoughts about any of that or would like to discuss it further, I would welcome that opportunity.
Over the dates and the times and the location again.
Tuesday, October 21st, 1 to 3 p.m., COM Special Events Center.
Oh, yeah, I know where that is. Okay.
I did send y'all an email invite. Next, we had a successful concert event at the Community Plaza this past weekend. Rapture played for us. We had a peak of about 400 people, so that was really solid. And next, on November 15th, we will have Mango Punch coming to play that are another kind of mix of different decades of music. So we're trying to hit all audiences. Finally, as I stated earlier, the Phoenix is looking at bringing in 5 new clients, depending on the qualifications, making sure that they fit. But Ariel has been working really hard, following up on leads and having even more walkthroughs than she'd had previously. So she's really taking the bull by horns there, and I see us getting some new members by January 1. I will mention, and I do have to discuss this with the Phoenix Committee, and we have a short meeting scheduled for the 22nd. Speaking to what Amy had indicated regarding the interest in small business development in this area being female, minority, veteran, we've identified a training opportunity through Vision Galveston, and it's called Mortar. And Mortar is written specifically to cater to some of those classes of business owners that might want that extra help, that might not know necessarily how to get their foot in the door. And we've been given the opportunity, as we are partnering with Vision Galveston, to provide that training through the Phoenix for a fraction of the cost that it would be to purchase it ourselves. So I'll be providing more information on that possibility to the Phoenix Committee, but there are a lot of exciting things there, including the possibility to open that up to the public, which would just bring more potential clients into the space, more people to 6th Street, and possibly be another chain through which we could get additional clientele to utilize the Phoenix.
Where would that training be held?
At the Phoenix.
Huh? At the Phoenix?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So we would look to limit class sizes to 6 to 8 individuals because we want to, overwhelm the room. Sure. But if we got to a point that we were getting an extreme level of interest, say we had 20 or 30, we could split that class into 2 groups, or we could host it at the library. So we have options. Really, we're just extremely impressed with the success that Vision Galveston has had with this program. And reading through it, it is considerably different from the classes that we commissioned for the Phoenix members. So it's really hitting a different audience and really doing a good job of communicating new business from A to Z. That's it for me.
Great,
Thank you.
I have one item. I'd just like to recognize Kristen Edwards. She's being honored tomorrow, Women in Leadership Award. She's one of the finalists.
All right.
Wonderful.
Thank you for all of that,
Well deserved.
and for everyone's time. That was a lengthy agenda, a lot of heavy
Got a lot
lifting
done.
there. So absolutely. All right. In the absence of a motion, otherwise, we stand adjourned.
All right.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Breathing time.
You go again. Thank you, Mr. Deal. Appreciate you.